The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
This time last week I was over in Bali, snuck off for 5 nights.
You sicken me. That's your second trip to Bali this year, right?
Yeah, I got FOMO after I was there in the July holidays, so we hadn't been for 5 years, and realised that's the place for me.
And also, you had to go back and get your Bintang tattoo finished because they just did the outline.
The full sleeve.
Yeah.
Well, that brings me to another story, because my wife Megan got tattoos last time, so she got another one to add to the story.
What'd she get this time?
Yeah, just a little...
Just a teardrop on her face.
That means you killed someone in prison, doesn't it? Yeah.
She got a little microphone to represent Cooper on some chain that she's got on her leg.
Oh, that's cute.
And then something else. Anyway.
What about a microphone to represent what you do?
You do. Like, you talk into one every day. Like Cooper does it occasionally.
We're literally surrounded by them.
But no, it's true.
Or is or on her little chain on her ankle? Is it like a losing tab ticket?
Oh, it's definitely a stab through the heart. That kind, that tattoo people get. Anyway, I was down the front in the afternoons. Love to go down the front, just sit there and have a few beers with some of the local guys.
Where in Bali?
In Bali.
You mean on the beach?
On the beach,
yeah, okay.
As a lot of people do,
just
as the sunset goes down.
Beautiful, Shaun.
And this, so I was just sitting down with the normal guys that I sit with Megan and the kids, and this young girl came along to join us, and she was friends with the Balinese guys that we're friends with.
Oh, okay, right.
So I introduced myself to her, and her name was Talia. She was from Byron Bay, and that she'd been over in Indonesia for a while on a surfing trip with her partner, who's now gone home. So she's mates with these guys, so then she comes in the afternoon like we do and just joins in on any conversation taking place.
Beautiful.
So that was good to meet her. And then Megan decides to bring up, for no particular reason, the reason why we're friends with a couple of these Barlow guys, in particular is one guy, G'day.
I've met him.
You would have.
What did you say when you met him?
G'day. There'd only be one G'day.
There's only one G'day Bali. Yeah,
there's only one good choice.
Really lovely guy.
Yeah. So G'day saved me when I was drowning in Bali many years ago.
And you say that flippantly, but you were legitimately in a lot of trouble, which is surprising because you're a great swimmer.
Yeah, I'm a good swimmer. Yeah.
His life flashed before his eyes and it was just debt.
It was.
So you went out to save somebody else, right? And
Yes.
then that person was fine and you got into trouble.
Yeah, so when I went out there to save this person, and I remember so clearly, it was quite late at the night. I went out there, I swam out there in a heartbeat. Another person came out there on a longboard.
Yep.
Yes.
And I was able to get to this guy first. I asked him how he was. He said he was just concerned about his board. I told him how dangerous this was and we need to get in. So he was able to then jump on the longboard with this girl who took him in. And meanwhile, I tried to swim in and I got stuck out there, and it all went terrible. So I was in all sorts. So this guy saved me. Anyway, Megan brought the story up because that's how our friendship started with G'day. This girl had been sitting with us. She just went all quiet.
Yeah.
And she started asking questions about it. It turns out she was the girl who came out at the same time and got hold of the
She was the one on the longboard.
How many years ago was this?
10 years ago.
And she just wanders up the beach and sits down with you. She was 15
She
when
was
she did
15.
that.
So
And she knows G'day as well.
and Kutut.
What?
She didn't know Obi-Wan, like he's just next door serving the Terps. But anyway, that's another story. But she was 15. She said she was sitting on the beach, just like I did, and watched this idiot in the water.
Yes.
Her parents were there, and they'd had a fair few. And because she was a surf lifesaver as a 15-year-old, she thought she should go out there, grab a board, not like me, who thought I was Trevor Hendy, and I'd just swim out there.
Yeah.
So she came after me, and she saw she'd go and grab a big longboard off the beach, and she swam out there, and she was the one who took in the German guy,
and left
then
you out there.
I was stuck out there.
So did you have a crack at it?
That's
but what'd you leave me out there
So
for?
she came in, and Megan talked to her and the German guy when they first came in and said, "Where's my husband? He's out there." And the guy said, "I don't speak English at this stage," which he did because he said to me, "I'm staying here because of my surfboard." And 10 years ago to the day, she just wanders up and she sits down.
I love these stories where
That's
the
great.
planets align. You hear these stories of when someone's married their partner and they've been together for 10 years and then they're looking through a baby book and then they see that they were next to each other in the delivery room.
Yes.
In the baby ward. The stuff like that are brilliant. I love those stories. And that's what we want. When something's super unlikely and freaky happens.
An eerie coincidence.
Yeah. How's this? Where someone's going to score a family day out, right?
Where?
A family membership for a family to Adventure World.
Oh, come on.
Valued at $580 Australian dollars. Be quick and grab your discounted early bird season pass now at adventureworld.com.au.
Do I
Go
count
to
for
the
this
best
price?
story,
No.
okay? We need your stories about those eerie coincidences that left you just thinking, what are the chances of that happening?
Hey, everyone, look who it is from the newsroom, Ellie.
Reluctant
Ellie.
Ellie, we call her.
Ellie.
Loves
guys.
sharing a story about her life.
I love it.
You've
You
got one.
can't shut me up.
I know.
So, obviously, Harry, our panel op, and myself, we both share the same birthday, 19th of December.
Yep.
We were also both born in 1992.
Yes.
And that's where the story is.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Same hospital.
Where does it go? Oh, sorry. And we're also born
in the same hospital.
In the
And now
same
you also
hospital,
work
in the same building. And I've never met him before until we worked here together. So we were literally could have been separated at birth, went off and lived our lives,
Yep.
and now we work here.
Maybe you were switched.
Why did
I
you
think
think
about
that
that a
story
lot.
ended like half a sentence
Because I
in there?
forgot halfway through, sorry.
I did that earlier. It's the first day back. It's not. The brain's not working.
Thanks, Ellie. June's in Armidale. Morning, June.
Morning.
Hi,
Okay,
Junie.
June, talk to us. What's the eerie coincidence?
So about 20 years ago, my kids were little, and we were living in Merredin. We're driving from Merredin to Perth, and we're coming along, and all of a sudden this truck tyre comes off a truck and bounces over top of our car.
Oh, my
That's
God.
my worst
Absolutely
nightmare.
cracked myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't stop, kept going. Moved to Perth for about 10 years. We got to meet these people, great friends. We were driving one day, and we're talking about funny things that had happened, and I was telling him this story, and he goes, "Get out of here." He said, "I was the truck driver." He said, "You didn't stop." And I'm like, "You nearly killed me."
It didn't stop. Honestly, I didn't think that's where I was going to go. I thought you were going to be talking about meeting the people in the car behind you that got a tyre through their windscreen.
No. And he goes, "You know,
insane.
that truck caused this fire in the Kelleberrin and blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, I just didn't stop. I absolutely crapped myself and couldn't stop.
And you know what?
June,
You know what?
that's amazing.
These are one of the chances stories.
Yeah.
What's so great is not only the fact that you're meeting that person, but the conversation has come up.
Yes, that's right.
You need to be able to connect on it, because
Yes.
why would that conversation come up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You could have been friends and never brought
Unbelievable.
that story up
Yes.
ever again because that happened so long ago.
Anyway, that makes them even sweeter. Thanks,
Thank you,
June.
June. Sue, hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Sue, talk to us about your eerie coincidence.
Many years ago, we lived in a little house in Warnborough, and my kids were playing out the front, and I was just dropping my older daughter off at work, and I got a phone call from my daughter saying that the kids were playing out the front, and they're playing with sticks and pretending to be like, cops and robbers or something.
Yes.
And one of the little boys down the street said, "Oh, that's not a real gun. I'll go and get mine." And he goes home and comes back with a real gun.
Whoa.
And the kids... My son wasn't very old at the time, so my neighbours called the police and pulled the kids into her house.
Oh, my God.
Meanwhile, I've got home and we're watching up the street, and sure enough, the cops were there, and they put the guy into the police van. It was a real gun.
Wow.
I still don't know if it was loaded or not.
Yeah.
Anyway, fast forward a few years, and my daughter starts going out with this guy, and we're getting quite serious. And then all of a sudden, I don't even know how they came up the conversation. They've been together for a while.
Yeah.
And he said something about his half-brother used to live at this house near where we live.
Yeah.
And then he starts telling this story, and then my daughter starts filling in the pieces, and it was his half-brother.
His half brother.
His half-brother. His half-brother.
Gun wielding.
Gun toting half brother.
And he's actually a really nice bloke.
And you know what?
I've met him many times.
I would watch a reality show called
Gun Toting Half
Half Brother.
Gun toting
This
half
week
brother.
on Gun Toting Half Brother, we meet Derek.
Sue, that's one out of the box
Yeah.
for sure.
That's amazing.
It was. That was the reason we moved from that house.
Oh, because
the
the Gun
gun-toting
Toting Half
half
Brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Sue. We are talking about eerie coincidences. I had one. Remember when I got robbed? I got home to find a guy robbing my apartment in Subiaco.
Yeah,
screamed, lost my voice. The neighbour who played rugby tackled him to the ground. Yeah. Well, the police so they come and do all the forensics and everything, and the forensics guy called me in the afternoon and he said, look, and he was really awkward, like he couldn't really string a sentence together. I'm like, very good observing things, though. He said, I noticed when I was in your house that there was a photograph of a man and a woman on your fridge, and the woman was wearing one. I'm like, yeah, it's a wedding photo.
Yeah. Yes.
And he goes, okay, this is going to sound weird, but we're at a different robbery in North Perth, and the same photo is on the ground here.
So it sounds like someone connected to the wedding.
I know, that's right. So
they followed home the richest guests.
Sure. So my cousin, it was my cousin's wedding, and she'd sent them out as thank yous to all the people that sent presents or went to the wedding. And this woman hadn't been at the wedding. She worked with Viv, and she'd given her a gift. But the guy noticed that the photo was the same. What are the chances that photo turned up on the same day?
You see so many stories now when someone gets home and there's a red mark on their letterbox, and that means they've been marked for a robbery because people have been casing out the joint. What if your cousin is in charge of some big ring where
that sounds
the mark is giving out a wedding photo?
If you knew Viv, you'd know that was so true.
It sounds like a Viv thing.
It's a good idea.
Jeremy, hello.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey Jeremy.
Buddy. Okay, talk to us. What's the eerie coincidence?
So when I was like 8 or 9, my parents took me to the Gold Coast, as you do when you're a kid, and I was on one of the rides. And to get that little memento, we had a photo on the ride. And let's fast forward 28 years. Yeah. I am now dating a girl that was sitting next to me on that ride.
Oh, my God, Jeremy.
Wasn't your sister, was it?
Jeremy, so how did that conversation come about when you realised that was the case?
We're actually packing up the house. We were going through old photos. And my mum actually brought it out. She goes, oh, do you remember this? And I was like, yeah. Sure enough, we looked at each other and went, oh, my God.
That's amazing.
So was this the photo that you buy at the end that they take?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
So straight away, she would have seen in your mum's photos a photo that she thought was hers and gone, because it's exactly the same photo.
Yeah, she thought it was her photo. She thought I'd taken that photo from her house. I'm like, no, that's me.
That is
that's
insane.
Was she from here as well, and they'd gone on a family holiday too at exactly the same time?
Yeah. She's from down south, and I was in Perth, so no other way would be different there.
Don't you wish you found that out before your wedding, and that could have been your wedding invitations? Just that picture of you two screaming your box off.
I love those stories.
That's
incredible,
Jeremy. Thanks, Jeremy. Debbie, hello.
Hi, how are you going?
Good, Deb.
Blow us away with an eerie coincidence, Deb.
Yeah, about 35 years ago, roughly, I went to London for a working holiday, and I was in doing my washing in a laundromat. And back in the days, there was no mobile phone, so I was writing a airmail letter to my mum and dad, letting them know that I'm still alive.
Yes.
And there was a guy in the laundromat, and we ended up getting chatting, and he was an Aussie guy as well. And he says, oh, you're writing a letter to your parents. Yeah, you're writing a letter. And I said, yeah. He said, where are you from? And I told him where I was from. And he was my next-door neighbour, but one from Perth.
What?
And we were in London doing our washing at the same... And, he showed me his ID, and I showed him the letter on my address, and we were just absolutely blown away that we'd never met as neighbours, but here we were in London doing our laundry.
In the same laundromat. And
Debbie, I find that's
one
amazing.
House.
Yeah, one house from each other.
Amazing.
But this is the thing. Don't you feel like the universe has put you back together?
Yes.
Are you supposed to do something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the next step?
Yeah.
You just finish your laundry and walk away?
You fold your laundry first, and then you go. Yeah. Amazing. Thanks, Debbie.
Question, by the way, because we all struck in those positions. Are we supposed to do something?
I know. You've been brought back for a reason. What's that reason? Vanessa's in Palmyra. Hey, Ness.
Hey, how you going?
Good, Vanessa.
Blow us away with your coincidence.
Yes.
So basically in 06 we went over to the grand final to watch the Eagles playing, and we thought it would be a great idea to make up a sign. So we had this sign that said, my mum loves big cocks. So the sign was quite a hit. We were like celebrities in Melbourne. Everyone wanted photos with us, and it was great.
It's the sign girls. Quick, everyone, get your cameras.
We had photos with everyone. Strangers were coming up to us. Anyhow, fast forward a number of months later down the track, and my best mate goes on a date with some guy that she met on the internet, and they're sitting there talking about, what they've liked, things that they've done, their hobbies, and they talk about the Eagles and that they went over to the grand final in 06, and he goes, and she mentions the sign, and he goes, we had photos with those girls, and she's like, are you serious? And so then after the date, my girlfriend rings me up, she goes, Van, you've got to go check out and look at these photos, see if this guy's in your photos, and sure enough, there he is in the photos with his mates and our sign and us in there. And basically, they've now got married and they've got kids, and
And he likes big cocks as well.
Yeah, that's who does.
That was on their wedding invite.
Yeah, the sign was an absolute.
So what this is telling me is I need to check all my old photos and scour them to find
your partner,
my future partner.
Yeah,
He's there.
Yeah. So it was really, really good.
They are.
That's great.
Thanks everyone.
But maybe the universe has put you together that you haven't acted on it, just like we were talking about. So it seems to be.
Yeah. What's the next step? What's the next step if you don't marry him?
A family membership to Adventure World is our next step. It's valued at $580. Be quick and grab your discounted early bird season pass now at adventureworld.com.au. Great place to be all this summer. There's so many good ones. I'm going to go with Jeremy. The photo on the roller coaster. There's a lot that were fantastic here, but Jeremy, you're going to get that.
All yours, Jez. Well done.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
How was your week off, guys?
Oh, it goes so quick, and I was so disappointed with myself that I didn't go away, and out of my character to not go away. So I had to do boring things like clean out the room.
But that's good to do.
I know.
It's good to do. And you know what? You feel like you've achieved something.
Yeah,
Even putting on a load of laundry at my house, I feel like, there should be an awards ceremony.
I would, I would write a little list of things, and it was like, do 2 loads of washing, and it's like, tick, okay, I've done it. Like, I don't feel like it's an amazing achievement.
No, it is. Congratulations.
No,
it is. Natalie,
it's mental freedom.
It is. Anything you did to make your life better and easier at home during that week, I congratulate you.
I agree, but
I just want to say, because since this, I think it's the start of this year, is it? I've been, and it was on my list to do during this week as well. It was the change the oven light. I still haven't done
been on your list for a long time.
How many things are you baking?
That's
that
right
you
up there, mopping the floor.
I know. It's not like a cavern of darkness. I can see in there, but just the fact that I just need to pull the thing out and change the bulb. That's just one thing that I cannot do. So I congratulate you, Shaun.
Thank you.
You did things.
Yeah,
you did all the things.
I did all the things. I'll get to that in a second. But you just mentioned your oven. How come you use the oven but you don't use the toaster?
What do you mean?
You have a toaster in a box.
Yeah, I do.
And the oven seems like some kind of a cooking device that I think, does he
that you would want to keep
anyway?
pristine.
Oh, right. You're saying the oven is more expensive, so I should never have used that, and I should have used the toaster. Well, Shaun, you've just done a whole spanner on the
Because how do you make toast? You put it in
I put it under the grill.
In the oven, yeah.
Like I'm at Nana's house 100 years ago.
Yeah.
I might as well put it on a stick and put it over a fire.
You're pretty close to it.
And then I have to turn it physically on the other side.
Yeah. You know what? Where you don't have to do that? With a toaster.
I can't use it. It's in the box. So, all right, you went everywhere.
Yeah, well, we finished here. We had a dinner together, so that was a good night. Then the next night I had a football wind-up for my team, and then we caught the early flight to Bali. When I got to Bali, it was just on straight away. I was there for 5 nights.
Yeah.
Previously, though, about 4 months ago, I committed to going up to Broome for this long weekend. And it was a chili festival up there run by a lovely lady called Kylie, and I got involved there over this weekend just gone. But I went from plane ride to...
So you got off the plane from Bali on the Thursday?
Yeah, got home about 8:30 at night, and then I saw the 2 oldest kids who didn't come with us. My 17-year-old son, Cooper, he said it was his last week of school, so he said he's not coming. And then he found out we're staying at the Padma Hotel, which is the place we've stayed for many times. And then he spewed when we got there.
Oh, so he didn't think the accommodation was going to be up to scratch for him.
That's right.
But then when he saw it, he went, "Oh, that's upsetting."
Yeah. So his level of accommodation, it's got to be at the Padma.
Can you say the funny thing is your 2 children that didn't go on the holiday told you today?
Oh, yeah. So my oldest son, Lachlan, as he's walking up the stairs, I said, "By the way, me and Mum and Sonny were off to Broome tomorrow morning, so we're not going to see you again for a few days." And he said, "Oh, this is unbelievable. You guys owe us 2 holidays now."
So they opted not to go. And this is an adult who's like nearly 22.
Yeah, we had work commitments because he owes me that much money.
Can I just say, like, it sounds ridiculous, but back in the day, I mean, if we asked that, we were going to heads slapped off.
Well, no, because our holidays, we're going to visit our grandparents' place and staying on a farm in Bruce Rock. It's not exactly a glamorous holiday.
When you're
totally
a kid,
changed.
when you're
Totally
younger,
changed.
you can't wrap your mind around that yet.
No.
You don't know too much about money. You don't understand it. You just got to get your stuff back.
Your
owe them.
expectations
You
are
owe
high.
them.
We
You
owe
owe them.
We owe
2
them.
holidays,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know them holidays left, right and centre.
Seems
so.
legit.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
After 11 p.m. on Saturday night, this was the sound of SciTech. That's right. Sunday night. Ambulances had to get there because these kids are doing this TikTok trend. They're thinking this is what it's associated with. And this is urbexing, which would floats my boat, really does. I love no, I do.
Yeah, we don't condone it, but yes.
I love urban buildings and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
This stuff here is a little bit like they're climbing onto dangerous buildings. And they're
Clearly it's dangerous because the ambulance arrived.
But people have always been so infatuated with the SciTech Dome.
Yeah, I have been.
Yeah,
Long time.
so many people want to get up there. I suppose, especially since the day of selfies as well. That'd be an amazing selfie up there. A couple of years ago, one thing to get married.
Yeah, somebody got married.
Anyway, we've always been obsessed with that. But WA Police said the teenager, she's a 16-year-old, and 2 other juveniles climbed the roof of the building around 11 p.m. on Sunday night. She fell through a plastic skylight about 8 metres onto the pavement, breaking both her wrists and her pelvis. They say that the wrists, the bones were exposed.
Oh, so she's hit. So that's hit first by the sounds of it.
God, now.
And then onto her butt, basically, probably, and that's where her pelvis is broken. That makes we always ask whenever somebody breaks both their arms to go, oh, how are you going to wipe your bum? It's like, well, her bum's going to be pretty sore as well.
Your bum's broken too.
God,
imagine
that's
all of
dangerous,
it.
guys.
God,
Yeah.
number 2, you'd be on a liquid diet, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Don't eat anything solid.
A lot of fibre.
You go through a lot of flannels. That's the only way I can see it. Flannel on a stick.
Well,
How are you holding it?
the CEO of SciTech, John, has come out and he said, no, we can stop doing this.
Yes.
People keep trying to find new ways. It's dangerous, and this incident really demonstrates that. So if you're considering doing that, please do not try to access any roof on any public building.
It's
Well
so
said,
true.
John.
But you know what? As adults, we're looking at it and we're going, "Oh, you bunch of dickheads." We
Yes,
honestly do.
we
We
are.
go, "What it is?" But then
when you're
think
16?
think about when you're 16. The stuff we used to do. My brother took me to a railway crossing. You know, the automatic gates.
So a level crossing. Yep.
Yeah. So we used to play on that, and I used to only have the guts to hold on to it
As it
from
was
the
lifting?
middle of the gate, and then when it lifts, I only go up a little bit, and if it's getting too high, I could let go. My brother one time said no, he's going to get right on the end of the gate, and it went up, and he was stuck up there, and he couldn't shimmy down because there was nothing to hold on to, and his hands were slipping, and he had to start the entirety of a goods train.
Lots of trains going through
so
there.
many carriages on a goods train, and he's on there going, I don't know, and if he fell, he would have broken everything.
It's a lesson in gravity, isn't it?
It is.
Gravity hurts when you climb to the
definitely
ground.
does.
There's some things you just shouldn't climb. And that's what we want to talk about. Why you shouldn't climb things that you shouldn't climb. It's quite simple. Someone's going to get a $150 voucher to V-Race, Sean.
Oh, yeah, been there. That was great. Me and Harry went along.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Experience the rush of full motion virtual reality racing these school holidays. You can book now at vrace.com.au. But the question is simple. Why you shouldn't climb things that you shouldn't climb?
Because we know you did it. Tell us what happened. Diane, hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hi,
You're in Cautionary Tales, Diane. What have you got for us?
So I went fishing with my brother, my son, and my niece and nephew.
Yeah.
And I threw out my fishing rod. Only been there 5 minutes. Threw it out. I got it snagged. So I thought, there's a pile of limestone rock, so I'll stand on top of that and see if I can get it unhooked.
Yeah, good idea.
Yep. Not a very good idea because as I went to step off, my foot gave way. Really sprained my ankle, grazed up all my knees, so I ended up with a really bad sprain, an infection in my knee, and a blood clot in my leg.
Oh, jeez.
Congratulations.
Di,
You got
once
all
you
of it.
climbed up on the limestone and started tumbling, did you tumble all the way down to the water or not really? Just
It was almost like half in the water, half on the sand.
Yeah.
You know what sucks is that the water would have been a softer landing, but yet your body decided to go down to the rocks right next to the water.
It did, yeah. So I've got my 6-year-old there saying, "Mama, you're all right. You're not going to die." I'm like, "No, mate, it's all right. Just give me 5 minutes to just,
Gotta get your thoughts
catch
together.
my breath."
There you go, everybody. So stay off the limestone rocks.
Yes.
Stay off the limestone rock.
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Di.
Di. Chelsea, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Chels, we're good.
What shouldn't you climb? Because you shouldn't climb it.
Well, we used to run the Rosemount Hotel in North Perth, and it was a hip-hop night, and there were some drunk guys, so we kicked them out. Anyway, it was about 5 hours later, we were cleaning up, and we noticed that one of the phone lines was red in the main bar, which meant someone was on the phone in one of the other bars that weren't open.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we went down to the bar that was closed, and there was a guy lying there, both of his legs broken, and he tried to get back into the venue and fell through the skylight, broke both his legs, and then called his own ambulance. Yeah, so he'd managed to crawl and then, ring his own ambulance.
Dragging his broken legs, Natalie.
God. He really should have dragged himself to the drive-through, though, if the ambulance was coming.
Well said, mate. Well said.
Yeah.
That is so
I mean, but how funny. If the ambulance turned up and you're like, "No, there's no one here." We don't know. You wouldn't have known.
Chelsea.
So he's climbing over. You can just imagine him grabbing the phone cord, dragging it closer to him.
You'd have to pour yourself a stiff drink too, just to
you're in the bar.
Okay, so when you found him, what did you say? Like, what happened?
Well, we were just a bit shocked, and then I was pretty impressed, actually, because he dragged himself about 4 metres to ring the... But we always thought the Rosemount was haunted, so we were like, "Oh, it's just one of the ghosts on the phone or whatever, having a joke."
No, it's actually human that fell through the skylight.
Skylights are dangerous. Don't mistake them for solid footing. Clearly, that's what we're learning from this. Thanks, Chelsea.
The Rosemount Hotel, that was an era I think a lot of us have gone through.
Yeah.
Chelsea, you're going to walk away with a $150 voucher to spend at V-Race. Get a load of that one, everyone.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.